Diaspora as well. What are you doing? The Nigerians we have in diaspora, what input are you putting? Because you spoke about it, you know, we have a lot of Nigerians in diaspora. Do you just go there and forget about Nigeria? What, and Mr. Marindoti, this is directly to you as well. What are you doing for the betterment of Nigeria? Because you are a Nigerian.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I have been contributing for the past how many years. It's almost 1 a.m. where I am right now, and I'm trying to contribute. I always say this, that, you know, I'm a medical doctor. My father has the hospital. He sent me to medical school so that I can continue his legacy, right? But if you call him right now and tell him that I'm coming to come and take over from him, he will swear for you. Because why? In the last 5 years, I have sent more resources to Nigeria than I would have made in 35 years. So when a lot of people, there was time they were talking about doctors leaving and all, we are also contributing all this stabilization of the forex that you are talking about. It is Nigerians in diaspora that are really, doing the foreign direct investment that we are not taking back. We are the ones sending money to our, relatives. So those are the little things that we are doing right now based on, definitely our resources. But if the government shows us, because I have a lot of Nigerian friends that have invested and have regretted it. You want to build a house just for yourself. You send money to your uncle or anybody, and then they use that money to build their house. And the local government authority, your state government, anybody does not take them, put them in jail. That is fraud. And we are not even defending the diaspora investments. So those are some of the things that have made a lot of Nigerians pull back. That's why I keep talking about structural reforms, things that you don't need to go. The president went to Dallas, I think in 2023, and said that Nigeria is ready for business. If anybody is asking you for bribe, come and call him. Well, I'm like, that means that the president assumes that everybody has access to him. Because if he does not believe that people have easy access to him, then he should think about a system that it will be that you don't need to see the president. If someone is asking you for bribe for anything, the system is going to carry them and prosecute them, and if they are found guilty, put them away, and that will serve as deterrence.
That's a good place to also go to, and which makes me wonder, because most of the persons who have the privilege of being in a political system in this country are also people who are exposed socially around the world, like yourself now. But at the end of the day, you have the privilege of being either a minister, a senator, or whatever it is in government. Why is it hard to sometimes see the reflection of that kind of exposure brought in to refine and reform our own structures, so that what you see in the United States or in the UK and other developed countries can be also seen here? Why is it hard to see that?
Yeah, I will explain it to you this way, right? When I was in medical school through practice, I have assisted a lot of brain surgery. I saw it, but I didn't know how to do it, right? So that is why when a lot of people say that Nigerian politicians go abroad, they don't fix our hospitals, that is because we assume that our politicians know the solution to our problem. A lot of them don't know. A lot of them just sadly don't know. And that is it. And that is why you see that sometimes when they propose solutions to some problems, you wonder the amount of brain power that went into the designing of those solutions. And a lot of our problem, people don't talk about the green and the red chamber or our state house of assemblies. Nobody focuses on that, and they are the real governments. They are the real government. They make laws. They control the spending of the money. They are the people that need to be making laws that will be directing us. This tax reform thing that the president brought should have been a legislative bill that was initiated by legislators who have seen the problem. We can see the problem going on in Nigeria with Dangote and Pengas right now. The legislators have a major role to play in setting the parameters for everybody to play, so that anybody knows what they are playing in. If you want to go and play soccer, you know how to score the goal. So there is no shifting of goalposts because someone has set the parameters there. So these are the problems that we have, whereby we think our legislators. That is why, for me, I am not even interested in politics. I am interested in charity, because I want to develop the average Nigerian mind, so that the average Nigerian mind will choose a better leader that will fix the problem. Because based on our level of education and exposure, we might not make good choices, especially in those places that I'm talking about, those green and red chamber in Nigeria.
So this is an education problem, you're saying, Marindoti?
Yes, we are not enlightened. We don't know a lot of. It was a very good report on your channel where during an election, a woman was asked the question and he said, "Atibowo, Atidibo." The woman actually thought that was the routine. You know, it was viral all over social media. People don't understand the fact that they are selling away their future. They cannot they cannot imagine it. How can I tell you that you should have good roads? How can I tell you that Lagos to Abuja should not be more than 3 hours, 4 hours drive, maybe 4.5 max? Because you have never experienced it, right? So we need to enlighten our minds.
Exactly. And just coming to you here, a lot of times I've said it on TV, you know, to vote is your duty and your right. So if you collect anything for it, you should know better, because as the media, we say it a lot. But I want to speak about, you know, the fact that we spoke about leaders getting into power. Mr. Marindoti, we won't lie that some people are very great, but when they get into power, it seems like there's something about power. They get into power and they forget the people that, you know, put them there, or the promises that they made to those people. So I want us to quickly talk about that. And also, for a person like you, we've seen the growth of Nigeria. We've seen the economy being stable. Now we're waiting for it to grow. Where do you see Nigeria in 10, 20 years? But first, let's talk about what power does. You know, we see an upright person, he gets into power, and the next thing he forgets.
Yeah, power, they say power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. So definitely power intoxicates. It's like when you drink beer, right? When you drink, when you start drinking, the good part comes first, right? So that's why when they get to the office, they will first start acting as if they are doing good. But as you continue drinking, you will start misbehaving. So that is what power does. And I will also want to use this opportunity to criticize my own idol, President Bola Tinubu, who, because he was an advocate for restructuring and he's been in office for 3 years right now, they are just taking baby steps. I thought he would have done it very fast. So that is also, But
the baby steps also count. At the end of the day, it's better to take baby steps than take no steps. So what do you think? Right. And I don't want to call them baby steps, Mr. Marindoti, because we've seen some very big reforms.
Yes, no, I'm talking about the restructuring of government specifically, and the policing and the restructuring of everything. But definitely, he's still doing it. It is way better than what you are talking about. But the second part of your question, if you can quickly remind me, so I'm trying to remember.
I'm asking, where do you see, with everything happening, with all the reforms we see happening, where do you see Nigeria in 10, 20 years? Because we've spoken about how resilient we are. So in 10, 20 years, what are you looking for Nigeria to be like?
It will be conditioned on one thing: continuation of this reform. Because I am very wary that if we don't continue this reform beyond 2027, we are going to fall back into a place where in 30 years' time, maybe it is my own generation in my own 60s and 70s that will be trying to bring it back again. This reform, like I was saying, then they tried to do it with SAP in 1986, right? They did not touch fuel subsidy then. They unified the exchange rates and they tried to make trade adjustments. But the lobbying, they kept on bringing back. There was policy somersault and everything. Now everybody blamed SAP for the end of the textile industry, whereas Nigeria still did not have electricity during that period. Those textile industries were protected with tariff, and they even put tariff on their inputs, which is like the dye and everything, which was what killed the textile industry. But they blame SAP. A lot of Nigerians right now are blaming President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and reform for their hardship, but they are failing to see the way by which he is saving the country. So we need to continue this reform beyond 2027, because I am pretty sure by next year, when the campaign starts, a lot of the opponents will be saying they want to reverse things. And when you reverse, you are now going to be giving your money away to the rich men who were the ones taking it before. If we can continue this reform beyond 2027, Nigeria will emerge we are very talented. We go everywhere in the world. We are leading, we are smart, we are intelligent, we are hardworking. Nigerians are abroad, are ready to come back. But we need to continue the reform, and we need to reform our trade. We cannot be having a country where UNICEF said 1,200 children are dying a day, and we are putting import duty on rice, on maize, on things that they can eat. So we need to do a lot of all these reforms so that we are bringing support to the people. By floating our exchange rate, we have protected our market enough. Let them compete with the global standard, because our labor and our land is cheap. Our producers can compete on a global level. We don't need to protect them. You cannot start a class and give your child 50% of the mark before the end of the term. You might have ensured that it will not fail, but you have guaranteed its failure.
Indeed.
So you need to allow your child to start on a level playing field. Those are the things that we need to do so that we can continue the reform beyond 2027.
Talking about continuing the reforms, let's talk about this issue of Dangote and Pengassin. What do we need to do as a country at this juncture where we still, have uncompletely functional refineries, and the Dangote refinery is standing tall now, and we're seeing some of this bottleneck union issues building mountains around the Dangote refinery. If this persists, how do we then solve the problem of fuel, availability, and cost, which in turn affects our export and the shoring up of the naira to compete with the dollar?
Thank you very much. I won't say I'm the biggest fan of Dangote as a person because, me too, I've been looking for my own kuli monopoly. I don't know if you can remember.
Around it, right?
I want to ask you a question, Nelson, Ria. You guys can decide not to come to work tomorrow. TVC will not come and drag you from your house
but we wouldn't do that.
On your right. But you won't do that because you want to make your money, right? You want to earn your salary. But you have the right
and we want to inform Nigerians, most importantly.
And you want to inform Nigerians and make money too so that you can take care of your family.
It's not about the money, it's about the job. It's the love for the job.
It's about the job, okay. But if you have the right to leave at will, then your employer should also have the right to fire you at will. That does not mean I support the firing of 800 Nigerian workers, because we have to understand that these Nupen Pengassin people have already created a monopoly. It's not like it is like the Satan and Lucifer fighting, in my own opinion. That is why the people in the Green Chamber need to come and legislate. Because if you look at it, these people are trying to sabotage. I mean, the judge said what I eat should not make you poo-poo, right? So how is trade union congress chairman, who is not an employee of Dangote, why is he striking against Dangote? I have said it on this program before, that all these labor people, congress, need to be disbanded. They were created by Muritala Mohammed, Decree 24 or whatever, to suppress labor in the first place so that they can control them. Everybody, TVC employees should be able to unionize and fight their employer. Not that if TVC is fighting them, Arise and every other television is fighting them. So those are things that need to be known. But we also must not lose sight of the fact that Dangote is like the best student in class that still likes to bring out his textbook during exam to copy. You get, he has a tendency to want to monopolize, but that is not his fault. He has a fiduciary responsibility to his bottom line. It is the duty of the legislators, of the regulators, to ensure you cannot have a refinery selling directly to the filling station. Just think about the 45 million liters of oil that we are using. That will take about 1,500 tanks to fill for a day, and we have about 1,440 minutes in a day. So that means every minute one truck is leaving that refinery into Lagos to be going all over Nigeria. So those things are things that we cannot allow. We have to have different players in different levels, and we cannot ban importation, but Dangote should be able to compete and out-compete his competition. These Nupen and Pengassin are putting a lot of dead weight on the system, and they all need to be legislated out. Legislated out.
Exactly, but
you can
Mr. Marindoti, when we talk about our refineries, it's so sad. We hear a lot of monies will go into it, and at the end of the day, there's no accountability. It's really sad. I want to speak on the fact that as we celebrate, 65, are we looking at other sectors? Because it's like we are just on oil. We forget there's agriculture. There's so many other things, but we really, really put our mind on that oil. Do you think it's time for us to diversify?
Yeah, we need to diversify, and I think it was Margaret Thatcher that said that the wealth of a nation is based on the strength of its people. We have a country like UK, 80 million, giving Nigeria 200 million aid. The difference is because the people in UK are educated, so they have the skill. It is a man. If you divide all our oil reserve by every Nigerian, maybe everybody will get maybe $1,000 for the oil, and that is the end of the oil. But when we teach someone, we need to invest in our education, in our people. The people are the gold mine of Nigeria, the 200 million people that we have. If we cannot be allowing children to go uneducated in the north or in any part of the country. We cannot allow children to go through school and they still cannot read ABC by the time they are getting to SS3. We need to invest in our people. The people are the gold mine. The fuel, diamond, cobalt, whatever, they are just resources that we should be using to invest in our people so that Nigeria can be like Indonesia and we can be strong. Nigeria should be the country controlling the whole of Africa. All this war in the Congo, DRC, and everything, we should be telling them we are building infrastructure across Africa. China should not become and doing what Nigeria should be doing for Africa.
Exactly.
So we need to invest in our people.
But just a follow-up, we cannot have this conversation without talking about insecurity in Nigeria. You know, oftentimes we've woken up to a lot of sad news. You know, you wake up and it's one too many. You see, oh, these people have been killed, these people have been killed. And at the end of the day, we see that bandits have now gotten they've gotten, what's the word I'll use? They've had this authority to come out and now talk, if you kill 10, 20 will come out and all of that. Talking about insecurity in Nigeria, where are we now? And what are the things you think we can do to make it better for Nigeria to be peaceful?
Yeah, thank you very much. I did actually go back, because I was just thinking in my own research, to the history of the very first notorious criminal that was known in Nigeria. The first notorious criminal was like in 1973, 70 something, I've forgotten his name. When the regions had their policies, they were controlling their environments. You know your neighbor, you know your neck of the wood. If we don't restructure, think about pipeline vandalism. If the local governments control their region, if there is a vandalism in your local government, we know who to come and take. You will not want it to happen, right? But when you have one central person in Abuja to be calling all the shots, Beto cannot do everything. He's just one man in Abuja. They need to decentralize. If we don't decentralize, we are going to overwhelm our security forces. And not the type that we are doing, whereby we put a bunch of ragtag, uneducated, ill-trained people and say we have this one or that one. Properly educated, properly equipped. That is part of why the restructuring is very, very essential, that I criticize the president for.
And do you think we should continue having talks with bandits? Because right about now, sometimes they say they want to have conversations with these bandits to, settle amicably or whatsoever they call it. It's not something I believe in. But do you think it's something that we should continue or stop?
Not at all. It is an incentive for them to keep on going. That is why we've seen different, even in the South. The what's called bunkers, did they stop being violent? When a lot of them were taken to Igbinedion, my friends were in Igbinedion, were talking about the way those guys were killing people on there. But if we have security, good security, these guys would have been picked up for doing one thing, maybe beating one person up or something, before they even get to doing the big what's it called, crime. A lot of criminals in America have been picked up for just petty crime, and then they'll discover they were the ones that did something big. So that is why we cannot keep on negotiating with them.
Dr. Marindoti, before we let you off this morning, Nigeria was 65 years. In few seconds, talk to us. What is the prospect as we look forward to more years?
Well, as we look forward to more years, we have no choice but to have a positive. What is the essence of living if you are not hopeful for tomorrow, right? Nothing promises you tomorrow, but you have to go into tomorrow with a promise, with a belief, with that can-do spirit, with a belief that you can change your life. We need to take responsibility. Look less on the government, look more into you. What can you do to contribute to your country and better your lot? It was JFK that said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
That's a fine place we need to go this morning. We will go on a break now and later link up with the Nigerian Television Authority for the President's nationwide Independence Day broadcast. Stay with us. It's a special day right here on TVC Breakfast.